Okay, I'm trying to figure out when something is boundaries or it's just you not having the right way to ask for help. One of our viewers has asked us this question and saying that things have changed for her. Like her business is at home now and she needs to kind of set boundaries of what she should be doing or shouldn't. And I don't know, is that really boundaries or is that just learning how to ask for the right support or learning how to make sure you do get the right support and allowing that person to do it, help you out? What do you gals think?
I thought first of all, it's a great question.
Yeah.
There's two thoughts that come to mind about that. One is that I believe she or he, was it a woman that asked that question? I believe that
sorry, Tracy, it was a woman that used to work out of the home, now works in the home, running her business. She has children that she has to take to school. She has, getting the groceries, all that stuff. So her life has changed where she was physically out of the home.
So interesting. The two thoughts that I have on that is, first of all, one is, I don't consider it so much a boundary thing as I do consider it a time management thing in terms of what it is that she needs to do to structure her day so that she is maximizing the time that she is working on the business and doing other things like taking the kids to school, picking them up, whatever that looks like. For me, a boundary is a behavioral scenario whereby you have somebody who is yelling at you, for example, and they tend to do this all the time. And you say to them, I don't like to be yelled at. So, if you're going to continue to yell at me, I'm going to leave the room. So that there is a clear, cause and effect of what's taking place there. The person continues to yell and then you say, okay, well, I'm leaving. I'm not doing that. To me, that's what a boundary is. I think she is talking about needing a structure in her day to say, okay, I have between this time and this time, which is the morning with the kids and trying to get everything done, whereby she might need some help and need to ask for support. Hey, can somebody else make the lunches? Can somebody else do this while I'm getting the kids ready for school? And once she's gone there, she then needs to have a clear direction on what her day is going to look like. So in a way, she's setting up her own internal boundary of what that physicality is going to look like for her day. And then again, at the end of the day, to be able to ask for help in all the other things that need to be done to run a household. Because when you go out of the house, when you're working out of the house, right, it's very easy to be within that structure because you are physically leaving one place and going to another. And just because you've entered into another space, that dictates how that structure is going to look, right? I've gone into my workplace, so that dictates that. You now have to kind of create that same dynamic within your own home, whether it be a room or whatever, that when you walk into that space, that is your work space. And now that's how I work with this, which means not letting the kids come running in, not letting, there has to be that functionality that exists, I think.
Okay, but you're putting it all on her. And I'm going, hey, I work at home now. Dude, you see me working at home. Why are you piling all this crap on me? Why is it changed? Why can't it still be the same where you helped with the kids because you helped with the kids? You went and grocery shop just as much as I did. And I just feel that, and this may be where she's asking boundaries, where she goes, hey, why aren't you like why do I have to explain to you? I don't want to do all this crap.
Yeah.
I'm all riled up right now.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is a boundary thing.
That is.
Why can't your partner look and go, oh, you work at home now.
Yeah.
Let's discuss how that's going to roll out instead of going, oh, you work at home now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think there's two folds to that. I need help. And what do you let go to allow that help done? Because that person might not do things the exact same way you do. And so you need to, I know.
No, you're going down some crazy path here, Michelle.
Well, I think that's our problem.
What do you speak of? Tell me more.
Yeah. I think that's our problem as a woman all the time is we do it right. We know how the kids want their lunches done. We know how their breakfast is. We know where their school clothes are. We know where the sneakers are. We know where the sports equipment is. And I think when we ask for help, sometimes we expect that exact same way to be done. And when it's not, we get frustrated and we just take it over and do it back. So now we ask for help. We're not being heard. My boundary's not met. And I got to do it anyways. And it's this vicious cycle. So I think there's twofold here. I think there has to come to a point where as women, we have to understand what we are willing to ask for help for. Like, and you have to be honest with yourself. What do you want to let go and ask help for? And then you have to let it go when you get that help.
Yeah.
You have to, you can sit down and have a conversation on how you do it, but then you have to let it go and let
no judgment help. And not judge.
No judgment. Exactly.
Yeah. And don't go back and redo it.
No. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're all talking from experience and we've all gone back and redone it.
That's why I said that. That's funny. You're right, though. I also think there's a real honest conversation that needs to happen to say, okay, hey, listen, like, just because I'm home, I still am running a business. Right. Even though I'm not physically out of the house, I still need to create that structure for myself. And I need you to understand what that looks like for me. Yeah. And that's creating that boundary that we're talking about, really, right? Is that structured piece that needs to be in place so that she can, do her business, work in the area that she wants to work in, and get the support that she needs to get the support from.
Which goes back to a lot of our past episodes. It's communication, and
yes,
totally,
going back to that whole communication and understanding what you want and making sure you are telling the people that are around you.
But yeah, you're right, Tracy G. It is communication, but I think you, as the person who is seeking the help, has to. Sometimes I think we're like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I just need help. But we don't. When we have that conversation, we have to be clear on what we want that help with. So you have to get clear with yourself what you want help with. If you like doing breakfast with your children, then keep doing that. Don't have that, make that part of your routine. If you prefer to have your help be taking care of the after school pickup, the grocery shopping, whatever, the laundry, whatever, but get clear on what you want help with.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we'll, I know for myself, until I got clear on what I wanted help with, then I couldn't let it go and just give it to them.
Okay. So here's the deal. Let's just take this situation. There's two adults here. Two adults here that are looking after their children. Can they not both look and go, this is what needs to be done to the house. This is what needs to be done to the cars. This is what needs to be done in order for us to move as a family forward and get things done. And I don't know, it just all like, I still get, Mom, where is this? Because I seem to be the only one that lives here and knows where everything is. And it's like, but like, you guys all live here. Why wouldn't you know where the Band-Aids are or whatever? And that's what I'm kind of just feeling is there's two adults here that, why is it always, it just, to me, feels it's always put on the woman to, okay, I need to communicate my expectations. I need to communicate what I need support, as opposed to two people going, this is what we need to do to manage our life. How are we going to do it?
But that's just semantics, right? If you sit down with your partner to say, what is it that we need to do? Here's all the things that need to happen this week, right? Like
Right.
from the lunches to the dinners to the grocery shopping to everything, and then sit there at literally like a business meeting and say, what are you taking on? What can I do? What can you do? Because I think when we have these expectations and the other person doesn't know what they are. And that's where things start to break down, because it's like you're thinking, well, certainly he's going to figure this out. Certainly he's going to see that this needs to be done. Certainly he's going to take the garbage out. I expect them to take the garbage out. And it's
certainly
like,
he's going to feed the kids lunch, because I didn't. Like, certainly.
Yeah,
oh no, he
certainly.
didn't.
No, like honestly, because it's like the expectation, we haven't communicated that back to the communication. It's like, hey, listen, I'm not feeding the kids today. It's on you.
Right.
But that's
Right.
somewhat, that's putting the pressure, that's putting it all on her then.
Why is it putting it on her?
Because if you're going
you're in a business, you're in a relationship, right?
Mhm.
And a part of that relationship is almost being run like a business,
Mhm.
whereby two people need to communicate, right?
Yeah.
So as the CEO of the household, why would you not start the communications?
Why is she the CEO of the household?
Why isn't she?
Why is she though? Why isn't he coming and saying, you know what, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah to do. How do you feel about it? Why is it her asking for the support instead of it just being offered? Why isn't he coming to her and going, hey, you're working at home now. What can I do? How are we going to make this work? Instead of it coming to a point where she has to ask. And that's what I mean. It's two adults.
Yeah.
He knows very well. I don't know him at all.
Yeah.
This person can know very well things have changed. And why do we always have to bring it to attention? Why can't the other person go, things have changed. Let's have a discussion. Let's do this. Let's figure this out. Or am I just like in no man's land? And this is just men and women, and this is when you.
Yeah, Tracy G, I
asking
think
for a friend.
Tracy G, I think though, when you look at the decades of homes being run, they were ran by women. There were very rarely where you saw, and when you said, why does the woman have to be CEO? Why can't the man be the CEO? No offense, my mind went back into like the 60s when the husband came home and supper was on the table and I run the household and this is the way it's done. I think there's so much
that wasn't a CEO. That was something completely different.
I know, but I would like women now try to do too much and do it all. I think that's the overlaying issue here, that the person is overwhelmed. They are trying to kickstart their business. They have 2 children that they have to get off to school or get to different functions. And it's just overwhelming because we 3 know working from home and entrepreneurship isn't always 9 to 5. Sometimes it's 9 to 1. Sometimes it's 9 to 9. Sometimes it's, all through the weekend. And so I think that overwhelmed with the fact that I need someone to make lunches and do breakfast, but I think it was in the conversation, he doesn't even know what their favorite snacks are. Well, that's where I'm like, that's where you have to let it go and let him go talk to the kids. Hey, I'm putting your lunch together. What do you want? So I think there's so much encumbersome within here. And it came down to everything we just said, communication.
And I just want to add to that why should it always be the woman that does that? Out of self-care for yourself, it is best to articulate what it is that you want in terms of that expectation, because again, I think this is a generational thing that's been going on for like gazillions of generations, right? Like seriously, it's like there's so many generations that this is how it has been done.
Yep.
And men don't talk about that stuff. So to all of a sudden think that I'm now going to start talking about that is like, why would he think that way? He's never thought that way once. Why would he think that way now?
Yeah.
What, even though it's so obvious
Magic?
to you.
Magic.
Well, get the, fairy dust out for sure. But like, like really,
Yeah.
it's like, so out of self-care, it's like, I want to initiate this because this is how I want how I want things to now look. We need to have a business meeting to figure out all the routines, who's taking over what,
Right.
who's going to do what. And like you said, Michelle, at that point, when the other person says, I'm going to do the grocery shopping, when they do the grocery shopping and they come home with stuff and you're like, why did you buy this?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, why did you buy this? It's like, this was on the list. What's this? You can't do that. It's like,
No.
they took on that responsibility. You just got to go, okay, great. Thanks so much for doing for doing this. This is awesome.
Yeah. It's not about asking for help and having these outrageous expectations that person's going to do it the exact perfect way that you were always doing it in your mind of your perfect way, and then go off on them when it doesn't, and then you end up taking it back and say, I'll just do it myself. That, I think, is the biggest part of the let go and the biggest change in behavior for the person asking for help. Is you let go. What's that? Let go, let God. Like, you just have to. And I can say here, I've asked my partner to help me with something, and has he done it the way I have? And have I bit my tongue? I have, because here's the reason why. For me, is it really my way or no way? Like, is my way really perfect? And is me correcting that way worth an argument?
Well, that depends on what mood I'm in. No, I totally, sorry. I totally get where you're coming from.
I love you.
Yes.
But that took learning. That took learning on my part.
Mm-hmm.
On my part.
Yeah.
Right. And is that an age thing though? Because when you were younger, it had to be your way. Because
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
And this is why this is so good, that if there are younger people looking at this, like, this is liquid gold that we're giving you right now. This whole thing about deciding to take that self-care. It doesn't matter who's initiating this conversation. If you want something to be different, then it's up to you to make the difference happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether it's your partner and it's divvying up, redistributing things after having done it 10 years the same way. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Right. You're the one that wants the change. So yeah, liquid gold here, peeps.
I love how you say that's liquid gold. And you know what, Tracy? We're not even charging them for this advice.
I know. Really. So just like hit the subscribe button, because like there's way more of this to come.
That's the cost. That's the cost.
Yeah, the cost. That's the cost. Subscribe. Absolutely. So
if we wrap our advice up, what would we're saying that?
Wait a minute. I'm going to ask you guys a question first.
Oh, okay.
What have now we're giving this advice to give it to somebody else and to let it go. And I gave an example of it. Have you guys ever had to do that?
Just last week.
Awesome.
Just last week, grocery shopping. It was grocery shopping. And I only like a certain kind of Triscuit, like, Triscuit crackers. This is really crazy. Okay, this is it in the raw, okay? I only like a certain kind of Triscuit cracker, which is the plain ones, the original ones. I don't like all this, olive oil and rosemary and all this other nonsense that's out there. I just want the plain ones. So hubby goes and does the grocery shopping, comes home, says, I'm sorry, there wasn't any plain Triscuits, so I got you these instead.
How thoughtful.
I know. But unfortunately, I didn't quite catch that in time. And I kind of said, why would you buy those? I don't like anything other than plain Triscuits. And then I went, I got to take that back. I said, you know what? These are going to be great. I haven't had them before. It'll be good. But unfortunately, I'd already said why did you do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And it's so funny because I reflected on that later on and thought, isn't that interesting? Like, this is so classic of me, because I have that tendency. The same thing with when when I'm doing cleaning. It's like, you know, I'm so much like Monica on Friends. It's like, okay, I'll do it. Just let me do it, right? Because if somebody else is doing it, I'm like, I want to double check that it's been done the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to go, okay, no, it's fine. You did it. Thank you so much for helping me out. And just walking away from that, just going, it's great. It's great. Exactly as it is.
So did you go back and say anything to your husband on your reflection?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. I went back and I just said, you know, I want you to know how much I appreciate the fact that you do this, and that you are out there doing the grocery shopping, and that wasn't fair of me to criticize what you purchased.
Yeah.
You know, you were just thinking of me, and that's awesome.
And I think that's really important, because we do I've gone off the cuff also. I think when you're letting go, it isn't easy, and you just have those automatic responses to things.
Yeah.
And we're not perfect. So, but I think the most important part was the reflection, because I've done that too. And there's been times when I go bounding down the stairs and there's my partner, he's watching TV, and I'm like, hey, I need to talk to you for a minute. I made that comment late before, totally uncalled for. You know, like, I'm really sorry about that. And I, like you did, I appreciate what you were doing, because I think then you'll get that continued buy-in, like that continue want to help. Because if we do slip and make those type of comments, and we don't go back and reflect or apologize for them, then we're setting them up for, you know, who's going to want to help you?
Yeah.
You're too picky.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, exactly. That, and the fact that I think it's just, you know, it's just an act of compassion to be able to say, you know what, like that, I didn't handle that all that great. So, hey.
Tracy G.
I don't know. The last time I walked upstairs, they go, "Here comes boss lady. Here comes boss lady." So I don't know. I don't think I've let anything go. No, I'm just joking. They do say that. I don't know why. But as my kids were getting older, I was seeing that if I didn't release and let them do all, like, put the dishes away, you know, no, that goes here. And I stopped doing all that a couple of years ago, because I went, you can't be like, these are now turning into adults, and you know, why not try to have adults living with adults rather than being mom telling you how to put the glass away. So I released a lot a couple of years ago, where I really have let go of a lot of stuff. Like laundry, no, but everything else I really let you do. I know it's like my little Zen thing, right?
Yep.
Pile of laundry, no pile of laundry, feels good.
And
But
that's
I do.
okay.
I've let a lot go, and it's work. It's work to accept how they do it. It's work to appreciate how they do it. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think this has been a great subject. And if anyone has any further like insight, or tell us how you have let things go, or how do you ask for help? Like Tracy, you talked about having a business meeting. Like, is there something that you guys do within your household when you have multiple competing priorities? How do you go about asking each other for help? We'd love to hear in the comments, because then we can share those with other viewers, and we also can learn something new. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.